Good evening YouTube, welcome back to another Model Railways for Beginners. As you can see in front of me, I've got a pot of paint and the test board. So tonight we're going to be covering basic track weathering techniques. Now, as you can probably see, I have already started by painting those sides of the rails, and I'm just going to demonstrate and finish this side off. And all I'm using is a thin paintbrush and a mix of random acrylics, browns, oranges, just to give a fairly dull rust colour coat. I'm just going to go along painting the sides of the rails. Doesn't matter if you get it on top of the rails, because that can be cleaned off afterwards. The choice is yours how far and how detailed you go with it. You can paint every chair in the rust colour as well if you like. Depends on your level of modelling, whatever you're hoping to. Okay, and we're back. So hopefully this has got plenty of charge in it for doing what we want. This must be one of my favourite purchases in the, I'd say, past year that I've had it. And all it is a cheap, off eBay, battery powered airbrush. It's not a dual action. As soon as we turn the compressor on, the air is coming out of the nozzle, and all you do is pull back for the paint. Okay, so as opposed to the dual action where you press down for the air and then pull back for paint, we are just pulling back for paint. Air is constant. Now these are absolutely brilliant for doing basic weathering and stuff like that. I wouldn't go as far as to use them on repainting models or anything like that, because they're not very precise. They do last about an hour or so on a single charge. Now all I've got in this mixed up paint is, again, mixed up brown colour, just diluted with a bit of water. All I'm going to do with this is just test it out on a piece of rag to make sure that it's not too thick for the airbrush, and then I'm going to fill the airbrush up. Okay, so I like to work with the top off the reservoir there, just because it makes it a little easy to fill up if you need to carry on or anything like that. So let's move on and have a look at weathering the rails down. So turning the airbrush on, I'm just going to do a bit on the side just to make sure it's flowing nice, and then just nice and easy. Not getting too close, you don't want to now you can see there already we've got a nice coat on there. If we compare it to, okay, so in the jar in front of me I've got, again, just generic B&M black acrylic paint. There's a bit of grey in there and a bit of brown in there, to make a nice dark wash. And all I've done is put a little bit into the airbrush, and then all we're going to do is just highlight a couple of areas down the middle to simulate diesel fumes, etc., spilt oil. It's up to you how heavy you want to go with it, because at the end of the day it's your railway. And also it depends on the scene that you're doing as to how much you want to put on. Now the camera is picking that up quite heavy, but it's not quite as heavy as it looks on the camera. Well, there you have it. Quick and simple. And like I say, these things are absolutely brilliant if you are just weathering track, anything like that. Perfect. I think they're about 30 quid on eBay, and they're not overly powerful for doing anything like or overly precise for doing anything like loco repaints or anything like that. I wouldn't suggest using them for anything like that, but for generic weathering or anything like that, absolutely ideal. They're quick to clean out, especially if you're just using water-based paints, because you just run a load of tap water through it and away you go. I mean, I've had this a while now and it's served me really well, but you can get quite a defined line on it if you really wanted to. I mean, I'm no airbrush expert, but it serves my purpose extremely well. And as you can see, you can get some nice effects with it. And again, water-based paint, it's spraying it on with the airbrush, it's pretty much dry instantly. So there you have it, nice bit of generic or basic ballasting, weathering. I can show you on this piece if you like, sort of like a more TMD area, or what should we say, like a yard type area. You go more with heavier black. Even the rails in a yard sort of area would be more black than a rusty colour, because of the amount of oil and grime and dirt that's around. I can't stress how valuable an airbrush like this has been to me. It's you're not tied down by any wires or, you know, a hose. the hose isn't getting in the way or anything like that. They are extremely versatile when it comes to weathering. And then once you've painted, all you need to do is go over the top with the track rubber. Anything like that, I would suggest having an old track rubber that you use specifically for this task, or you can use a piece of very fine emery paper, being careful not to go too hard on it because it will excuse me, tickle in the back of my throat. And all you're doing is literally brushing the paint off the top of the rails. Hardly any pressure at all. And of course, the less paint you get on top of the rails, the less you'll have to clean it. And there you have it. Two nice clean rails. Nicely rusted rails. Darken down the ballast with a bit of brown, and then a bit of oil staining up the middle, especially if you're doing more modern day stuff or through a station or things like that. And you get a little bit heavier, perhaps not quite as heavy as this area. But there you have it, nice and simple, nice and quick. These are brilliant if you are, if you've only got, say, half an hour to spare to do anything on the railway. It's brilliant. Pick it up, make sure it's on charge when you're finished with it. Pick it up, bit of paint in it, away you go. You haven't got to dig out the compressor and attach it all up or anything like that. You just literally, so long as it's cleaned before, after you use it, you can come straight to it, pick it up, and away you go. No lost time or anything like that setting it up. I would definitely recommend one, even for a beginner. It makes weathering the track so much simpler. And like I say, they are only about £30 on eBay. I'll just have a quick search on eBay. There's lots of different types, and they range from, the cheapest I've seen there is about £22. But for doing something such as so simple like that, you don't need anything expensive. And they are USB rechargeable. I don't know whether you'll be able to see that very well on there, but this one's 50 quid and it's got everything you need. Really, really useful tool to have. Well, thanks again for watching. I hope it's been useful to you. Do subscribe if you are enjoying the videos. Drop us a like or a comment. Share it to anyone that you think could appreciate these videos. and we'll see you again next time.